Hey everybody. Is this on? Can you all hear me? Ah, good. I couldn't hear me. Right. Hey, welcome to It's More Fun to Compute. So I'm Julian Cheal. I am from Bath. So just so you know, Bath is not London. I do not live in London. I live in Bath. It's called Bath because it's full of baths. The Romans came there, they gave us the concept of the bath, and it's great. Interesting trivia, we also have showers, so for those of you that don't like baths, you can have a shower in Bath. I work at a small open source company called Red Hat. Yes, you do get a red hat when you work there. I work on a project called ManageIQ. We manage clouds, so if you have, I see there's quite a lot of clouds outside, so if you have clouds, we can manage them. And we're always hiring, so come talk to me afterwards, come work at Red Hat, and you get your own red hat, which is pretty awesome. Yes, so this talk is called It's More Fun to Compute. So some of you may know this is actually a track from a band called Kraftwerk, which is a German synthesizer band. And so as you can guess, today we're going to talk about synths. Not these synths from Fallout 4, unfortunately. These synths, electronic synthesizers. And so I have with me today a variety of synthesizers. I've got my Alteria Mini Brute, which is a monophonic synthesizer. I've got a Korg Volca Keys, which is a polyphonic synthesizer. We'll learn what all these words mean in a moment. I've got my Korg Volca Beats, which is an analog drum machine. I didn't bring these with me today, but these are the Korg Little Bits. These are great. Little Bits is these bits of hardware that you can connect together with magnets, and so you can make all kind of electronics without having to do any soldering or any wiring. You just stick the magnets together, and this is a combination with Korg, so you can build your own synthesizer with just a few little bits and pieces. So, synthesizers, what are they? Well, they're basically made up of these things called oscillators. And as the name suggests, an oscillator is something that oscillates. So it's just a tiny little electronic component that kind of just generates like a clock signal, and kind of dependent on the signal it generates can make, when you output that to audio, it can make different sounds. So here's one from Moog. And these things, when they were built originally, would be like the entire size of the stage, you know, a bit like the original computers. They would be absolutely ginormous. And the thing that oscillators create are waves. And so there are a few different types of waves that we can generate. So the first is the square wave, which you may recognize from being, you know, a programmer. Square wave is just kind of like on or off, you know, the kind of binary off or on, and it makes quite an interesting sound. The other one is a sine wave, which is, I hesitate to use the word analog because these are all sort of analog devices, but you can think about it in computing terms. It's like a value from like 0 to 127, and then obviously the same in the minus, and that's kind of like, you know how one would normally think of waves, you know, the kind of up and down kind of waviness. An interesting wave that we can make is the triangle wave, which I think makes quite a nice little shape. And we can also make a sawtooth wave, or as I guess it should be called in the Ruby world, the Nokogiri wave. And the cool thing is with this is a saw wave can either go in one direction or it can go in reverse. And yes, I did just take this picture and spin it around to do this. But this is the whole thing. These are very fun sounds, and we'll see them all in a moment. And of course, we should all take a moment for our dearly beloved Google Wave. And this is one of my favorite sounds that we can make. For those of you born after the 90s, noise is the sound that you would have on your television when you're switching between channels, or when you're tuning in your radio in your car. This is actually the sound of like the Big Bang. It's basically all of the sounds and all of the things that ever existed, and it's all just together, which is kind of why it's called noise. So let's have a little look at some of the sounds that we can make. So in order to visualize these sounds, I have, if I can remember where it is, a small little Ruby processing library that will actually visualize these waves when we play them. So let's run this. So I have over here my one of my synthesizers. So first one we'll try is the saw wave. Send that a bit. So as you can see, it wasn't exact because, again, this is just written in Ruby, and I wasn't taking like as many measurements as you would in like a professional piece of software, but you can kind of see the shape of the wave. It's like sorry-ish. This would be a square wave. And as you can hear, they both sound slightly different. This then is a triangle. Bit more higher pitch, you can kind of hear how the sound goes up and then straight back down again. And then this is again my favorite one. It's just noise, it's absolutely brilliant. And the fun thing is you can combine these together, so maybe like a saw wave and some noise. Let's see what that does. So that kind of sounds quite interesting. So as you can see, this is actually visualizing me as we speak, so it's just using the internal microphone. So at the top we've got my sound waves. This is, my actual voice. And then at the bottom we have, what's the word? It's taking the levels between, as I've got quite a low voice, you can see I'm mainly in the left-hand side. Whereas if we were to play a high note on this, kind of moves up the bottom there. Right. So let's see what's next. So that was just us creating some basic waves, but you can't make a pop song with just those sort of basic sounds. You need to kind of enhance and change them. And the way we do that is with something called envelopes. You've got attack, decay, sustain, and release. And you may be thinking, those are some killer hit moves on some kind of fighting game. But they're actually not as exciting as that. Actually, no, it depends. So we normally shorten those types of envelopes down to ADSR. It stands for attack, decay, sustain, release. So attack is the amount of time it takes for the sound to go from 0 to the highest level that you've set the sound. Decay is the amount of time that it takes for the sound to then go from the highest level to the predetermined level that you've set your audio at. Sustain isn't time, it's actually the audio level. So you can think of it like the volume. And then release is the amount of time it takes for the note to keep playing once you've taken your finger off the key. So all of this kind of is based on like a piano, when you press a note and then when you release it. So as you can see, when I press a note on here, as soon as I take my finger off, the sound stops. So what we can do, if we increase the attack and decay, so I'm pressing it, and it takes a little while for the sound. You can hear it kind of grows from 0 all the way up to the sound level. So if I turn them off again, it makes the sound instantly. And as let's put the visualizer on the side. So with attack and decay up, it takes a bit longer for the sound to get there. But as soon as I take my finger off, the sound stops. And then if we add on some release, it still has it still has the sound playing afterwards, which kind of makes that kind of nice, longer sounds to be drawn out, so you can kind of get some different melodies going. So you may be thinking, oh, this is cool. So we've got these instruments over here. We can now generate different waves, and we can change the envelopes. What's that got to do with Ruby? Well, it turns out that these are all, as I was saying, these are analog synthesizers. They're actual physical devices. But there's a program called SonicPipe, or as I prefer, SonicPipe, which was written in the UK, and it's a digital synthesizer written in Ruby. And so what it means is that instead of having to go out and buy actual instruments, we can play with digital instruments and kind of make the same kind of sounds. So here's an example of some code that you'd write in SonicPipe, and it's just Ruby. And so when I first looked at SonicPipe, it kind of scared me, because I thought, oh, I'm really good at music, or I'm okay at programming. But trying to combine programming and music together turned out to be quite hard. But now, just from those few little things we've learned, we can see that when we say use synth saw, you go, oh, that's a sawtooth wave. I know what that looks like. Play 60, that's the kind of MIDI note. That's like a middle C, I think. And then the other values, decay, sustain, release, are the envelope that we were looking at. So now we know how we can change and modify the sounds. So let's have a quick look at SonicPipe. So here in the SonicPipe editor, if we just play 60, that would just play a note. Oops. Let's restart it. Doesn't like it when it's been suspended. Come on, computer. Everyone fingers crossed for this to work. Come on. No. Quit. I don't think I made enough sacrifices to the demo gods today. Come on, SonicPipe, you can do it. Oh, what have we done? Okay. No, it's okay. Horrible SonicPipe, I think it's got stage fright. This is kind of them. Okay, let's just leave that a second. Oh, I do apologize. Yeah. Right. Okay, that doesn't look like it wants to play. Right. So, yeah, that would be a way of playing SonicPipe if we could get that to work, which it was. Okay. Anyway. So while that's having a think, so you can write music then in SonicPipe, which is really cool. So the next thing we can do is, so if SonicPipe had loaded, let's say we've just gone and written a load of music in SonicPipe, then you think that's really cool, but you've got all these instruments over here. Can we actually control them from the computer? And the answer to that is yes. We can use something called MIDI. So, but before we get on to MIDI, I just want to talk about this lady, Wendy Carlos. She is an amazing musician who was really famous in the synthesizer world. You would know her from things like Switched On Bach, which was the first kind of popular synthesizer album. It was all classical music on synthesizers. And if you've not heard of that, you definitely would have probably seen The Clockwork Orange. She made all of that music on synthesizers, or Tron, as I'm sure most of you have seen. That, again, was all made on synthesizers. But anyway, back to MIDI. So you may know MIDI from sort of like, you know, kind of this kind of Tetris-y sound. It's not really, really great kind of audio quality, but that's a bit misleading because MIDI isn't actually a musical sound. MIDI is actually a protocol, so it's a serial protocol, so you have an in and an out. And it stems from the day that musical instruments used to be non-compatible, so they all decided to join up together and make this protocol. So with a MIDI byte, you have the status byte, which is whether the note is on or off, and then you have the note number, and this is all based again on the piano. So like middle C would be 60, and then you have the velocity, aka like how hard you press the note. So you can play a note soft, or you can play it loud. So let's have a look at some MIDI. So, let's try and load SonicPipe again in the background. So, where's my head? So I've written a small MIDI library to connect to my Volca keys. And so it just talks MIDI, and it's all written in Ruby. And so you can, let's make that bigger. So you create a new instance of the Volca keys, and then it goes and discovers one of the instruments, finds the first one, and then just plays a note. So let's have a look at that. Right. So if we that's right. Oh, I'm very sorry. All of my demos seem to be dying on me today. Not having a good day. I apologize. So with this, we can now write code to control these instruments. Let's try this again. I don't know what to do. None of my demos are working. How about let me just quickly reset this, and then let's all hope and pray. So while that's resetting, does anyone have any questions while I reset my computer and pray to the demigods that it works?
Can we have two people talk, right?
Yes.
Hold on a sec, we're going to get at the mic. Could you please have?
Excellent. So maybe this is an oddly critical specific question, but with things like MIDI, how does it deal with a lot of the nuances of instruments that take it apart? You've got the ability to sort of move your hand into that kind of wall area, etc. How does MIDI deal with that, and if so, then how? And maybe this is an oddly specific question.
So I don't actually know of any MIDI guitars, but so the way MIDI deals with other instruments, so for instance, I've got a drum machine over here, and if you think about how a drum looks, a drum doesn't look anything like a piano. And so the MIDI notes are based, you know, on the piano keyboard. So the way, so even though it's a standard across all instruments, the way it deals with odd instruments like, say, for instance, drums, is the individual manufacturer will map the MIDI notes to certain notes on the device itself. And so that's one thing that you have to then know about for sort of each device that you're playing with, is how the manufacturer has mapped the MIDI notes to its device itself.
And I'm assuming it's not standardized, and so we're different from MIDI manufacturers, do they do different mappings?
Yeah. So you'd still send the same MIDI note, like say, like play 60, but that could be a cymbal on one or a bass drum on the other.
Thank you.
Oh, to the screen? Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay, we also have questions on the gentleman in red.
My question is because can you import the MIDI file and convert them into record?
So like sort of Ruby code sort of to play in SonicPipe, or there isn't anything available yet. There's a really old Ruby library which can read MIDI files and then output the notes. And so I've used that before to kind of transpose from a MIDI file to then sending them to my instruments. So yeah, you could write a converter to then generate the SonicPipe code yourself. That would kind of be cool, because there's a lot of MIDI, like if you just go and search for like Super Nintendo games MIDI files, there's a ton of resources out there, so you can get all those really old MIDI files for all the old games that you like, and then you could like play them using Ruby. I'm very sorry about my computer today.
Do you need to show anything else?
No, it just isn't working.
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Any more questions? Okay, that's the last question.
This actually is not. This is not a question, but a puzzle answer question. I found a transporter which can convert the old log here ringtone code. The log here ringtone used to be some code that you type in the phone, and then it will become a ringtone. I found a transporter for those ringtone code and convert it to SonicPipe and take those code in SonicPipe.
Oh, that's really cool. Could you tweet that with the conference hashtag?
Yeah, sure.
That sounds really cool. I'm going to be here for the next day, and I'll be around later. So even though all of my demos have failed now, which has never happened before, I do have all my instruments with me, so we can all go and play with them elsewhere once I've thrown this computer in the bin. I do really, really apologize.
Okay, then thank you, Julian, for your sharing.